Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, I'm gonna try to answer a very common question these days. Many people are asking and wondering what's going on with altcoins and what's gonna happen next because Bitcoin is pumping and many altcoins are going down, especially when traded versus Bitcoin. So people are wondering if they should move their altcoins back into Bitcoin for the time being or what's going on here. I'm going to start by saying I think altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin very soon, are going to start to go up versus Bitcoin very soon. But I want to clarify, this is not, I'm not like 90% confident or anything like that. I'm kind of neutral. But the reason I give a little bit more probability than that the altcoins are going to start outperforming Bitcoin very soon, it's because of this. I'm going to use the chart for EOS versus BTC and also the Bitcoin Cash chart as example, because these are the ones that I'm interested the most. But this is in general. I mean, take any altcoin and look at the chart yourself. So this is the reason basically. Altcoins versus Bitcoin have been going down a lot, like too much in a short period of time, or actually in a long period of time. This has been a multi-month downtrend and it's quite vertical, so they are very extended in the downside. They have been forming a descending wedge, which is bullish. They had actually a breakout recently, but it was a failed rally and they ended up making a lower low. So it's even more extended than it was before. Here, when it was bouncing on support, it was already very extended in the downside. As you can see here, these are the daily candles. It did break out, but it didn't do much, to balance the price or anything. And after that we had another lower low, which makes it even more extended in the downside. So this is very overdue for a big bounce here. So that's the main reason I think altcoins are going to start outperforming Bitcoin very soon. Also, the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's gonna have strong resistance at the level of 50%, which we are almost there. I've been talking about this level for quite some time now. If we draw a line from here to here, from this high to this high and extend it, we can see we're about to touch major resistance. So Bitcoin could, there's a big chance it will touch at around 50% dominance and start going down. If Bitcoin dominance touches significant resistance and starts going down, it means that altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin, at least for the time being. For how long, I don't know yet, but we're looking at that. We are at the key level where Bitcoin is going to probably react to this resistance here in dominance, and also altcoins are very extended in the downside when traded versus Bitcoin. And guys, nothing goes in the same direction forever, especially this fast and this vertical. When these things happen, you usually have vertical bounces, or if it's not going to be a vertical bounce, which at this point I give more probability, but if it was not a vertical bounce, I would say it's going to be, a slower but longer period of uptrend here. And for EOS versus US dollar, the same situation here. We are at the main support. We actually started to bounce already here. This is forming an inverse head and shoulder as well, so it looks bullish. Altcoins look more bullish, or I shouldn't say more bullish, but they look more less risky to enter long right now than BTC, because BTC already had a big bounce here, and it's a correction should be expected. Guys, I don't usually talk about news and fundamentals on my channel. I'm very focused on technicals. I don't pay that much attention to news. I mean, I do pay attention. I'm watching news every day and reading articles and everything, but I don't give a lot of importance to most of the news. But there's some news that I do take into account. I think they are very relevant when it comes to price, and the ETF is one of these news that has, it needs to be taken into account when looking and analyzing price. Is a big deal. Just like the forks were a big deal, last year here. there were a few important forks, the Bitcoin Cash fork, then the SegWit2x fork, and the Bitcoin Gold fork was not that big of a deal, but I still had into consideration the forks, you know, when it comes to predicting price. The FOMO is real for the ETF. If you want to know my opinion, I don't think it's going to be approved. I think it's going to be delayed, and I think this is going to be something like buy the rumor, sell the news. So before the decision has to be announced, I think it's in the middle of August. I think before that date, we would see a dump here on the Bitcoin price. But until then, the Bitcoin price could be going up and up and up, and people could maybe continue to sell their altcoins to go into Bitcoin, just because, you know, speculating on the Bitcoin ETF. So that's why I'm not that confident in saying altcoins are going to start pumping versus Bitcoin. I think that's still the most likely, but I don't give like a 90% probability. I'm very aware of the Bitcoin ETF, and I'm very aware that the FOMO is real for this. So we could be retracing in Bitcoin versus US dollar here, probably at the 200-day moving average. We see a little retracement, and we come back down to bounce on the 20 or the 50 daily moving average here and continue higher. And if that's the case, well, then maybe yes, altcoins would, you know, I would expect altcoins to just, you know, follow the main support line, you know, going kind of sideways, maybe uptrending, but very, very slowly here, and at some point break down. So be aware of the Bitcoin ETF. But other than that, looking at technicals, it very much looks like altcoins are overdue for a big bounce when traded versus Bitcoin. Guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Me personally, by the way, I'm not doing anything. I'm not moving altcoins into Bitcoin or Bitcoin into altcoins. I'm doing nothing. But of course, that's just me. I feel comfortable with how diversified I am. So, you know, and I have, as I've been saying, I did, you know, I have accumulated enough Bitcoin, enough, especially Bitcoin Cash, and, you know, I'm comfortable with that. I took enough profits here on the high. So for me, I don't really care if I miss out, if, you know, if my holdings go down a little bit for some time and then, you know, they recover. I'm cool with that. I'm not going to be exchanging alts to Bitcoin or Bitcoin to altcoins or anything like that. But yeah, again, that's my own personal situation. You should, you know, take into account your own personal financial situation before making any decisions. So that's all, guys. I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.